For this project, I measured the width of my bed frame, then headed to the Home Depot and grabbed a sheet of foam board insulation. Because this board was far too big to fit into my car, I utilized the trim cutting station to cut the board down to the size I needed for this project. Once I got home, I measured and cut the board to the correct width I needed. To do this, I measured from the uncut side over 58.5 inches and marked all along the cut edge. Then I used a box cutter to score the foam, and then some scissors to cut through the rest. Once the board was measuring 58.5 inches by 4 feet, I found the center of the width, placed a sewing pin at that mark, then tied a string to the pin. I used this to draw a nice and even curve along the top of the board. At the top of the board, I made a mark a quarter of the way across the board on both the left and right sides. Then I freehanded an inward curve from the mark made in the previous step down to the end point of the original curve. Then I repeated that on the other side. I took the board outside and used some low grit sandpaper to sand the cut edges to make them nice and smooth before moving on to the next step. I placed the board on the ground and laid a piece of thin quilt batting on top, trimmed away the excess, then used spray adhesive to glue the batting to the board. I made sure there was a little extra overhang that I folded over the sides and glued that down on the back. Then it was time to cover this board. I shopped my stash and had the perfect fitted sheet that had a big tear in it. I placed the sheet onto the board, flipped the board over, and cut away the excess, leaving a few inches of overhang on all sides. I pulled the sheet taut over the back of the board and used a stapler to temporarily hold the sheet in place. For the corners, I removed the bulk by cutting away the fabric, then folded it nicely and secured everything with a long sewing pin, making sure to push the pin in at an angle so it didn't come out the other side. I made sure to pin all along the outer perimeter of the board to make sure that the sheet was nice and secure. Then I trimmed the excess fabric and hot glued the edges. I flipped the board back over and added some gold pins around the perimeter as evenly as I could. I placed the board behind my bed, then added some command strips to the back to secure it to the wall. Now I have a cute headboard that adds a little something extra to my bedroom.
I desperately wanted to make this dark plain room look beachy and light. I hit the hardware store and picked up some 2x2s and some 3/4 inch plywood. I measured and cut the 2x2s to the height of the headboard that I ultimately wanted to have. In my case, that was 57 inches. Once my frame was built, I added my plywood pieces on top. I screwed these pieces of wood into place. The reason I use such thick plywood is because I like to lean up against the headboard when I'm sitting in bed. My next step was to cover it the way I wanted it to look. This was the key part of the project for me because I really wanted it to look beachy, but I needed it to be done on a budget, and I certainly don't have the ability to weave or tan across an entire headboard. My solution was actually to purchase a 5x7-foot jute rug online. The price of this rug was only $62. Placed the rug around it and started to staple it into place, and leaving the corners as the last piece. So my last step was to fold them over tightly and staple them into place. I could then slide my headboard into place, and I could attach it to the frame of my bed, or some people choose to attach headboards to the wall itself. I absolutely love the way it looks. It was such an easy project, and it made the whole room look a lot lighter and more coastal. I hope that this inspires you to create a headboard of your own, and even perhaps throw a rug on your headboard and see how you like it.
The first thing you need to do is figure out what you're going to use for your backer board. I'm going to be making a headboard for my son's twin size bed, and so I'm using a piece of scrap plywood, 48 inches long, 18 inches deep, and this is going to be mounted directly to the wall, so I don't need it to have a ton of height. The first thing we need to do is figure out how many of the pool noodles we will need to cover the length of the headboard. And so these particular noodles are 2 inches in diameter, and so when I trim these down the length, I'll have 2 inches wide and then a 48-inch long board. I'm going to go right down the center and just cut them in half so that I have that flat edge to go flush against the board. So I worked in sections of about 3 to 4 noodles at a time, and you can see here I'm spraying the adhesive directly onto the board and placing the noodles right onto the back of it. I didn't put much spacing between the noodles, and you'll see why in a little bit, but I can tell you the thicker the fabric you're working with, You may need to leave a little bit of a gap between the noodles, but if you're working with a very thin fabric, putting them up right next to each other would probably be just fine. Once they're all in place, you should have something that looks a little bit like this, and it's time to attach your fabric. I took it outside and flipped the entire headboard structure over so that the noodles were facing down as well as the fabric. And so you can see here, I'm spraying a little bit of this spray adhesive onto one end and rolling the fabric over, pressing it down really firmly. This is the staple gun that I am using. You can see there it's loaded with staples and attached to an air compressor, but if you don't have something like this, a handheld stapler will do just fine. So initially I started to apply the fabric with a little bit of spray adhesive on the noodles, and quite honestly, it was a disaster. The noodles were pulling up. I really think that with the pleather being so thick, it needed some space in between the noodles to create those beautiful channels. So I went back to the drawing board, which is unfortunately part of DIY, and spaced the noodles out with a little bit of spacing in between, and then attached them also with the staple gun for some added stability. I worked in sections of about 4 at a time, sprayed a little bit of spray adhesive on, and then just kind of used my hands to firmly work the leather into the channels. And you can see there it's showing up a lot better, and you get those more defined creases with the spacing. Now that those channels were all nice and tucked in, it was time to finish the corners and the edges. This is my first time doing any sort of upholstery, especially with the thicker material like pleather, and so it was a little bit of learning curve. I trimmed the edge at the corner and then just tucked it over and secured it tightly with a little bit of spray adhesive and then also more of the staples. Once that corner was secure, I just worked my way down, and at each of the channel segments, I pulled the pleather really tightly and kind of turned it onto itself to make sure that those segments were each clearly defined, and then used, again, more spray adhesive and more staples. What I love about this project is that it's completely customizable to fit whatever color, shape, or size that you need for your space. And if you have a little bit of patience and a little bit of time, you can create a glamorous look on a budget.
Are you like me and have a guest bedroom with a comfy bed but no headboard? It popped into my mind that a floral runner rug I had would make a perfect king headboard. All you need for this project is the rug, a 1x2 piece of wood that is 2 inches shorter than the length of the rug. Then line the piece of wood up under the rug. Now carefully pull back the rug and glue it along the bottom edge of the wood. Do not put the glue at the top because then it will make it hard to attach it to the wall. Once dry and adhered well, it is time to attach it to the wall. Attach one side by screwing through the wood and into the wall. Voila, instant headboard. You could also use a seagrass runner or a tapestry as the headboard. Just pick whatever would work well with your style of bedroom and the linens you have.